the network's strong enough here. So anyway, sure nobody's here because this wasn't announced. Just want to do a broadcast, let people know that I'm okay. A lot of people are very concerned about my welfare. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you all for being concerned about my welfare. That's very awesome of you all. It really is nice of people to be concerned about my welfare. I've received a bunch of messages through everything, email and WhatsApp. Very heartwarming to see people say, hey, Chris, are you okay? We haven't heard from you. Well, folks, you haven't heard from me because, I have no internet. Here I am standing in 90+ degree temperatures with 85% humidity. It's very hot out here near a shopping mall. I didn't bring my tripod, so I'm going to step back away for a second. I've got a Frappuccino sitting over there, so it's okay if I turn my head away because the microphone's on my neck, so you should be able to hear it. Just one person here at the moment. Wow, 58 people. That's fast. So welcome back, folks. Let me walk back towards my Frappuccino, and then I'm going to come back and check the chat and see if anybody's actually chatting and see if you can actually, you still see me and pick up on it. So hang on. All right, so because it's shade over here, I can stand over here in the shade. There's my Frappuccino, keeping it out of the sun. I don't know, can you guys still see me? I can't see from here. All I see is my phone on top of my car. It's definitely a new approach to broadcasting, to say the least. Little tiny camera that's about 10 meters away. All right, I'm gonna come back to the phone and see if you guys are actually following this. Is anybody chatting, or is it just me? Is it just me? For some reason, my chat is not showing on here. I don't know why it does that. Suddenly, chat never shows in here anymore. So I apologize. I can't see the chat, so there's not really any. I don't even know if you can see me. So, gosh, standing over there kind of sucks. Yeah, I'm wearing the maroon cotton shirt today for Stellies. Anyway, yeah, I'm okay. These people that have motorcycles in the summertime, they're so annoying and so loud. But I'm all right. Thank you all for your concern. I'm very grateful for it. So the topic of this is triumph and tragedy for South Africa. It's in sports. Today, Jaden Adams, the Bafana player, midfielder, if I'm not mistaken, who played in the World Cup in all 3 games, he passed away at the age of 25. There's an investigation into it now. There's no indication as to what happened to him, but really tragic situation. Apparently, 25-year-old. Don't know if it was crime or drugs or heart failure. We don't know. So there's no speculation to really go on right now. And speculating is not a good idea anyway. So there is an investigation inquiry into what happened to him. I'm sure that they'll figure that out soon enough. So he died. Also, a South African 20-year-old rugby player playing in France died during warm-ups. That's another tragedy. That's kind of sad. The triumph was the Springboks, who looked very poor today with a team with about 340 plus fewer caps than last week's team that played against England, which already had missing 200 caps. Now they had 300 some caps missing. But this team today managed to defeat Scotland. It wasn't impressive, not at all. So yeah, but they won 42-28. Shouldn't have allowed Scotland to get a bonus point, but they did. It's unfortunate. Is that the sun walking in there? Let me see. Yeah, it's the sun. Let me see if I can get rid of that a little bit. Now it's going to stay there no matter what I do. Yeah, so Springboks, Jesse Creel sealed the win. It's interesting because I wrote to one of my viewers who was asking about it, and I said, well, the whole game I'm talking about, Jesse Creel has been really quiet because I couldn't do my Rugby Ascendant broadcast, which a lot of people count on, and I apologize for that. But I mean, I can't stand out here in the sun. I can't watch it and broadcast out here. So yeah, a lot of people concerned about me. But Jesse Creel had been really quiet from my perspective. Hadn't really done much in the way of contributing until the end. Beautiful kick by Pollard, a little grubber kick. I think Nas Botha would have been proud of that grubber kick. That was an actual grubber kick, not a grubber kick that went all the way down the field. And Jesse Creel secured it, fought off a tackle, and sprinted to the try line and crossed over and sealed the game. Springboks had a 14-0 lead. They squandered halftime 14-14. They looked terrible for about 20 minutes on, just like they did last week. It reminded me of Australia last year when they lost, and last week against England when they played poorly for stretches. Then the second half they came out, and Ben Jason Dixon got a yellow card, untimely, but they kept Scotland from scoring 3 times inside the 22, inside the 5 meter, in fact, and they never scored, which really set the tone. Then they scored in quick succession, try, and suddenly that 14, it was 28, and then 35-14 before you knew it. And it looked like we were off to the races. But then South Africa's defense was tired. Ruan Nortje obviously knackered, tried to make a weak arms tackle, an easy try scored there. Some great carries by Scotland. They really stayed in it, and they came back. But, yeah, it's they gave up 2 tries, and suddenly it was 35-28. And Scotland had a chance. Kyle Stan was on the side, beautiful kick over to him, and Grant Williams closed the ground quickly. He was like almost the last man. The fullback was back there, but almost the last man, and he was going to sprint in. Grant Williams, I think, might have messed up his vision because he might have blocked it because he bobbled it. And Kyle Stan, who's like money in the bank, bobbled the ball. And then late in the game, when Scotland had another chance to pick up a try before South Africa scored that last try by Jesse Creel, the normal and reliable fly half, Finn, threw the ball behind all his players and he touched. It's unfortunate. I'm going to get a drink real quick. So if you're wondering, this is a lavender frappuccino from Starbucks. Yeah, barista, give me a nice little smiley face there. That was nice of her. Anyway, you need something like this on a hot day to cool down. I don't know why I can't see the freaking chat anymore. It says it's here, and I know you all are chatting, but for some time now, why is the chat hidden? I don't want chat hidden. I'm trying to turn my chat on. What is going on here? Live chat. Okay, hide the chat. Now live chat. It's still not coming up. That's really weird. Anyway, people are leaving though. Sorry to see that. That's been going on with the mobiles for some time now. I don't know why. So, yeah, interesting day for sports for South Africa. Some triumph and tragedy. 25 years old. My goodness, that is far too young. And I was lamenting the death of Bonnie Tyler at 75 after an operation. I said that was too young, but 25, you're not even have a chance to live a life. That's really sad to see. And just hours before he passed away, he had posted on social media with his girlfriend. Apparently he was okay. So I don't know what happened there. And then the 20-year-old probably had a heart problem, would be my guess. But we have a serious problem in South Africa, which people aren't talking about. It's time to start discussing this seriously. South African sports players, particularly in rugby, too many have been using illicit substances, using steroids and other things to get ahead. Stop it. Saru needs to get control of this situation. Otherwise, South African rugby will become suspect in people's minds. Too many young players have been using controlled substances. We've seen this over and over again, and it really needs to be addressed. Some careers have been cut short by this, long bans. Others, you know, really are great. Now we got 85 motorcycles coming in over here. Oh, gosh, summertime. You know, I prefer it when there's snow on the ground out here. I'd be a lot better off if I could stand out here in the snow. So, yeah, very disappointing. And I apologize. I cannot see your chat. I do not understand this, what the deal is. It just doesn't let me see the chat. It's been going on now for the last couple times. I'll have to check the settings to see if by default it turns off the chat, maybe because people are driving while they're doing their mobiles. I don't know. But obviously I'm not driving. I'm standing in the sun baking. Probably going to get burned. Sun's hitting the back of my legs right here. But if I stand over there, it's okay. So let me stand over there for a couple minutes. Back up like this, okay? Like this. I'm kind of far away now, but you can still hear me. So here we go. Yeah, and I'm out of the sun, so it's a lot nicer over here. But I don't need these glasses, otherwise I can't see you from here. So they really need to get this under control. South African sporting federations need to get this under control. And I don't know what happened to Jaden Adams, but I hope it wasn't violence. I mean, you know, it's a shame he's passed away, but I did watch him in those games. I watched Bafana's games. Yeah, so that's kind of sad, even though I'm not a soccer fan. Funny, I'm not a soccer fan, but I'm going to leave here from this broadcast with you all, and I'm headed back to the house where I have no internet at all now, none whatsoever. And I will be watching, if the TV works. If not, I'll be using my mobile network to watch Norway hopefully beat England. So Erling Haaland, that's the guy I'm pulling for there in Norwegians. Hopefully they'll pull it off. Somehow I worry that they won't be able to pull it off, but we'll see. So as far as my internet, in case you're wondering, so this morning, nothing, no upload. So I got in my car, I took my router, I drove to the cable company, their office. There were already half a dozen people standing in line when they opened at 10 o'clock. I jumped in line. First few people got help. They told me to sit down. Oh, I waited less than a minute. Some guy came to help me. Parda was his name, from India. Parda helped me, and I explained what happened. He just went and grabbed a brand new router, gave it to me. I was out of there in less than 5 minutes. Awesome service that way. Got in the car, drove home, hooked it up. It took a while to get it going. It started working, and then the connection didn't work again. So I couldn't broadcast the Scotland game. I watched it, but I watched a lot of buffering and breaks in the game. And by the time the game was over, I was 20 minutes behind. So I couldn't have broadcast that. Plus, I didn't have any upload for it, either on my mobile or on my internet connection. So then I called the provider and said, what's going on? Because I received a text message during the game that said that my service call that was scheduled for Tuesday, that I've been waiting 5 days for, has been canceled. Why? Well, there was a network outage in my area and the outage is restored. But that isn't my problem. My problem has been ever since a previous outage occurred a week ago, and it did something to my connection to my neighborhood. So they canceled my service call without even contacting me. Then I saw I had a missed call, so I called them back and no one answered. Anyway, I tried calling again later on. I got through, and they were all about, we'd like you to get our cell phone service. I'm like, why would I get cell phone service with a company that can't even deliver internet service? That doesn't make any sense. You're a cable company. Your cable service sucks. Your internet sucks. Why am I going to switch to you for my mobile? I'm okay with the guys I have. So they gave me a refund for the service outage, but I'm still out of service, so it's going to be more days without service. And then they gave me a loyalty discount. Well, great. That's all fine and dandy, but great. They're all going to come right in front of me right here. Here they come, the motorcycles. Well, that was special. I don't know where they're going. They're going to McDonald's? Anyway, so eventually they transferred me to a tech rep. The tech rep got my appointment rescheduled, but there's nothing else I could do. So now instead of Tuesday afternoon, I did get it back on Tuesday morning. But what a pain. What an absolute pain, guys. Now, is anybody still listening to me? I wonder. People might have dropped off if the mic wasn't working. Well, we're still at 150. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? Pretty crazy. Let me get a quick, 97 likes. Thank you for that. It is, that's not what I want. I want to know what the time is. This thing won't tell me the time. I don't have a watch on. You rely on my phone. Anyway, what a pain. What an absolute pain. So now I've got an appointment for Tuesday for the service guy to come out, but I'm going to be without internet. I have interviews scheduled for tomorrow and one for Monday, so now I have to reschedule those. That's unfortunate. I'll contact those people and let them know that we can't do the interviews. Yeah, it's really annoying. I have better internet service in Botswana through a satellite service out of Norway. I'm not making this up, folks. When I lived in Botswana, my ISP did all their data. They skipped South Africa and it went through a satellite out of Norway. And it was pricey, but it worked most of the time. But that was 20 years ago. And the demands on the internet back then were a lot different than they are now. Now they're much deeper, much heavier demand, especially with all the video and everything else. Sorry, I just got distracted by someone out here walking. Anyway, yeah, so no internet. So here I am in a parking lot, 95 degrees, 90% humidity. But I'm doing this because it's not for the clicks, trust me. Won't get that many clicks. But a lot of people are concerned that I disappeared or something had happened to me. Not the case at all. I just am in the 1980s with my communications right now, courtesy of piss poor service from my provider. So I just wanted to come on and let you guys know that I'm okay. And again, since I can't see the chat, I don't know what's going on with this. I've got to look into this. But now this is another problem. If you can't have chat on your live stream on your mobile, what's the point? That's pretty silly. That's pretty silly. So how are we doing here? 160 people, so more people. Apparently you guys can't hear me okay. See, that's the thing that's really frustrating about this. Why in the world would they turn off the chat function? Doesn't make any sense. Maybe my app is just out of date. I'll update it. Maybe there's a change to it when I get done here. But yeah, so as far as the news, the war in Iran continues. Trump's threatening to blow them to smithereens. Please do it sometime soon, Don. We're all tired of waiting. Let's blow these guys to smithereens. Get this over with. This is dragging on. This time of year, the electronics, the radar, the targeting systems, the GPS, the high performance engines and aircraft and in the missiles, they're affected by this extreme heat in the Middle East, which is up over 100 degrees, repeatedly all place, cooks these components, and you lose reliability. So we wanted to get this thing concluded by June, and here we are into middle July now. It'll be Bastille Day on Tuesday, and we still haven't resolved this Iran nut. Trump needs to get this done sometime soon. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., it's the same old, same old. Nothing happening except a bunch of loonies from the left trying to disrupt governance in this country. So what are you going to do? Anyway, but, its sun has come out. It's burning the back of my legs. Oof. This is what happens when you're a Viking, man. You're just too pale. You get fried in the sun. And the shadow is like right behind my feet, literally. So let me. I'm going to step back and I'll see how quickly I get in the shade. So right now, my legs are in the shade. Just that big a difference. Took one step back. That's how close it is. But the problem is that this is I've come to this shopping mall a million times over the past few years, right? Not once have I seen a single person drive down here. But now everybody's doing it. You know why? Because these numbnuts have shut down this access road over here, the main road. So all these people are driving through the shopping mall, and they have speed bumps over there in front of all the strip mall shops. So they come around this back way now, so that I don't blame them, but no one ever drove here before. I could come out here and lay down in a cot, and nobody would even notice it before. But now this has become a major thoroughway. What are you going to do? And these numbnuts have put a sign up that they since May 8th, they've shut down the road, and they don't put up a date for when it's complete. I feel like I'm back in Africa. I got crappy internet. I got roads that don't work, bridges out of service. I'm getting boiled in the sun. It's like being back in Africa, man. I don't even need to go to Africa. It's right here in Pennsylvania. I got shitty internet. I got broken roads. I got bridges out of service. I got boiling sun, high humidity. I mean, the only thing that's different from Africa than this is that, well, I mean, the places are open late, so I guess that's different. But I mean, seriously, it's like being back in Africa without all the charm. I don't have to take any malaria prophylaxis, so I suppose that's a good thing. Anyway, so how are we doing here, folks? By the way, I'm getting about 20 megabytes of upload here. At the house, I'm getting 0. I'm getting 0.01 upload speed. I mean, ADSL is faster than that. Everybody remember ADSL, asynchronous digital lines? Wow, that was a long time ago, ADSL. Asynchronous digital subscriber lines. That's like a whole other epoch, a whole other era. That's like, you know, the Triassic when it comes to the internet. But I'm back in the Triassic now, or the Cretaceous, or whatever that's called. Anyway, but yeah, it's crazy. So I see clouds moving in over here to the northeast, over near Harrisburg. So I don't know if they're coming this way, but behind me it's just blitzing hot. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who was concerned and worried. That's why I'm out here doing this, standing in the sun boiling, just to let you know that I'm okay. And I'll do some prepared videos. And if I can't upload at home, I'll try to upload my mobile phone. That's what I do with yesterday's video about the emails. I talk about that very quickly, about the emails. Yeah, so I'm going to get out of the sun again, though. I don't have my tripod. Otherwise, I just stand over there. I've got my little one that's on top of the car. So, yeah, otherwise, I put it next to that and stand in the shade. But I'm going to move back to the shade and talk about the email cock-up that Church World Service did. Some of you know about this. All right, so here's what happened. A few days ago, people started saying, hey, I got an email from Church World Service telling me that I already have a denial letter. I never got a denial letter. And a few people panicked. They sent it to me. I said, so you never got an email with the denial, it's not a denial letter, it's ineligibility. You never got the letter. They said, no, I never got it, but I got this email. I said, well, did you write to them? And every person I talked to, every single person said, yes, I sent them a question about my case. And other people said, well, they sent me something to ask for information, and I replied to it, and I got this in return. My initial thought was, this is a screw up. Somebody drafted a standard format email to send to people to say, you've already been issued a denial letter. You cannot refute it. There is no recourse. Stop contacting us. That's what I think the email was intended to do. But it went out to a few hundred people at least, because I've been in touch with a few hundred people about this. I don't know how many got it. And it caused a lot of consternation and chaos. And all credibility and trust in the program just evaporated for those people, and frankly, for a lot of other people. And I don't blame them. This is unacceptable. This is nonsense. This is a total cock-up. This should never happen. U.S. government should exercise oversight from USCIS over Church World Service, an organization that is ineligible to even participate in this program. They have filed lawsuits against the U.S. government and against President Trump for his lawful suspension of the refugee program last year. They have a conflict of interest, a clear conflict of interest, and we've seen it play out. A conflict of interest and their lack of oversight in Rochester, New York, and in other places around the country, where they've abandoned, they've abused refugees, and not just of Africans, but refugees from all over the world. Afghans, Nepalese. I've seen it in Rochester, standing up there in 14-degree weather with a 30-knot wind, freezing to death in front of their crappy offices where they don't answer the phone or answer the door, leaving refugees outside freezing. Church World Service has no business participating in this program whatsoever. They should be like the Episcopal Church and bugger off. The Episcopal Church, the racist church, the Episcopal Church that refuses to help refugees because their intelligence quotient is lower than the tire pressure in my car. My tires are 38 PSI. So I'm guessing their IQ is lower than that. See, they said they can't participate in the refugee program because Donald Trump opened it up to white racist farmers. Except Donald Trump didn't do that. Donald Trump opened up the refugee program to South African racial minorities suffering from unjust racial persecution. That's what he did. But the dimwit, racist, bigot scumbags at the Episcopal Church said we're not going to participate because we backed Archbishop Desmond Tutu during the apartheid struggle. Well, what they freaking do? I'm happy for you. What the hell does that have to do with the price of tea in China or refugees in South Africa? Not a damn thing, you racist bigots. Racist bigots. All the colored people, all the Indians, the black folks who've come over to America, they've abandoned them because they're bigots against South Africans. Stupid, arrogant, asshat people who have no respect for humanity and no historical knowledge and no contemporary knowledge. A bunch of dingbats. See, this is the problem with retards who get trained and educated in our universities. They can't think for themselves. They can't divine the truth by looking at the facts. Here are the facts. The program is open to everybody who's a racial minority. There are coloreds. There are blacks. There are Indians who come on the program. And I know. I've met them in person and I've interviewed them. And you can lie about that all you want, News 24, and all you hate wankers out there, but that's the truth of the matter. You can't change the facts. It's not my truth and your truth. It's the truth. News 24. And their nonsense has led to many people who are eligible for this program not applying for it. They're a disgrace to humanity. Now, I want to address something else. Since I'm up close to the phone, getting the back of my legs toasted like an oven right now. I'm going to have red legs at the end of tonight, the back of my calves. So here's the thing. I saw that Donald Brown, whom I know, nice guy, who invited me to participate in a panel a couple years ago. I haven't heard much from him lately, though. But Donald did a thing on Facebook, and he's frustrated. And he spoke in Afrikaans. I'd never heard him speak Afrikaans before. A name like Donald Brown doesn't sound very Afrikaans, but I get, intermarriage, mixed marriages, get it. Anyway, so Donald, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying. So Donald did a video and he said, here's the thing, we just kind of take it, and who are our leaders, and why is it that English speaking people are all our leaders? Well, he didn't speak ill of me or some other folks, but I didn't like the way that he tied that to something else. So he should look at the DA, Tony Leon, English speaking Jew. Helen Zilla, English-speaking Jew, although Zilla, I think she speaks Afrikaans. And then Musi Maimani, black South African. And then John Steenhuisen, Afrikaans name, but English speaker. And now Jordan Hill Lewis. But what Donald is missing in his commentary is not that they're English-speaking South Africans, and that doesn't mean they have a problem with the Afrikaners, who are the main support base for a portion of the DA. What he's missing there is that they're all leftist. They're all left of center. They're not centrists, they're not conservatives, and I think that's where his real beef is at. His real beef is that they're not conservatives, they're actually leftists. That's the argument he should be making. So he went on to say that, look at all the people that are commenting about the situation in South Africa who speak up for Afrikaners. Look who speaks up for us. Rob Hersoff, Chris Wyatt, Byron Shepard. All these people who aren't Afrikaners speaking on our behalf. Now, he meant it and say we're all excellent, and I appreciate that, Donald. But the point is that, yeah, and what's the problem? I speak up for the Tswana too. Should we not speak up for the Tswana? It's not my fault that the Afrikaans community is so divided. I try to help people get past their differences. But there are some folks that are locked in their ways. There are plenty of Afrikaans people who stand up for Afrikaners. I think he's looking at this very, very one-sided. You have Steve Hofmeyer. You have Venant Dutoy. He did mention Ronaldo Gos. But there's a whole host of people. Willem Petzer, he didn't mention Willem Petzer. A lot of people out there. People shouldn't. What do we have, like 1 million motorcycles here now? What the hell's going on? Loud. Anyway, so there's a lot of people who speak up on behalf of the Afrikaans community, Afrikaner community, the Boer community. So I think that, that was misplaced, not outrage, but misplaced umbrage. He was taking umbrage with that fact. But he does have a point. That community tends to divide itself. As I've always said, if you get 10 Afrikaners in a room, or Boers in a room, you'll come up with 12 leaders. If you get 10 Afrikaners in a room, you'll come up with 20 plans of action and 0 executed. Now, that isn't meant as an insult. It's, if you know your history, you'll know that that's pretty accurate. That's pretty darn accurate. That's kind of the way things roll. So anyway, Donald Brown, I saw it on Facebook, someone referred it to me. I don't have beef with Donald, I'm not trying to start one, but I think his umbrage is with the wrong thing. Your umbrage should be with those who are not Afrikaners, who stand up and expose what's happening to South Africans and Afrikaners in particular. Your umbrage should be with more people in your community stepping up. There are plenty to do it, but you need to get more into stuff. But the problem is you got the Adrian Bassons and the Peter du Toits, who have the veneer of being Afrikaner, and they're nothing more than Vrijers. Propagandists, Vrijers, Leugners und Betrügners. Time for another Starbucks drink. I'll be right back. Anyway, yeah, so, I mean, that's the problem. You got all these people, the Adrian Bassons, the Peter du Toits, the Peter Creels. He did mention him. The Max de Preer, all these Vrijers who betray their own people. And they do it under the veneer that, well, their own people are bad people. Afrikaners aren't bad people. Boers are not bad people. Swana are not bad people. Do they have bad people in their midst? Of course they do. Every group does. You know, I read the story about the Zimbabwean who is accused of murdering his wife and 2 daughters in the UK. There's a photograph of him at Heathrow getting on a plane to fly to Johannesburg. The South African authorities arrest him. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Home Affairs, good job getting this guy. Hopefully he'll go back and face justice for the horrible thing he did, murdering his 15-year-old daughter, the other daughter, and his wife. But the point of that story is, it made me think, you know, there's always nasty people in our midst. You're polite, you're friendly, you're generous to people, and there's scumbags all around. So for instance, he was at the airport and there's a photograph of him standing in line going through immigration. Imagine if you were standing behind him or you were in front of him in the queue at Heathrow to get on a plane, or you sat next to this murderer, triple murderer on the plane. Think about that. Here you are going about your business, going home to visit your relatives, or, you know, going to a conference, or, you know, going on a holiday. You got your kids with you, and right next to you is a guy that murdered his wife and 2 daughters with no remorse whatsoever, getting on a flight to South Africa so he can escape back to Zimbabwe. We are surrounded by scumbags everywhere. I'm sure if I took everybody out of their vehicles in this parking lot and all those people off their annoying motorcycles, there's another batch of them right there, lined them all up and did a check on all of them, I'll bet you some of them have criminal records, not the least of which would be DUIs. And I'm sure there'll be some people who are spousal abusers, and maybe even a couple kitty molesters there too. It's unfortunately the nature of human beings to act nasty and treat other people nasty, and that's disgraceful. But that is the reality, folks. That's the world we live in. So we have to be vigilant. We have to always be vigilant. There are always Leugners und Betrügners and Vrijers in our midst, no matter who we are. No matter who we are. I mean, look at the South African National Defense Force and their spy. Or, should I say more correctly, the State Security Agency spy who was caught and who spilled the beans. How many people has she given up? Ask yourself that question. The former Sandef Air Force general who was arrested by the FBI for trying to infiltrate the Oak Ridge Nuclear Research Facility, our national laboratory. So who was she stealing secrets for? For Pretoria, for the ANC, or was she stealing secrets for Tehran? You know, this was during Biden's regime that she was spying at Oak Ridge and was caught by the FBI. And now that she's been sentenced to prison where she belongs, she only got 6 months and a $9,500 fine. That's a very soft imprisonment because they took her a lesser charge. They could have gone after espionage, but they got her on failure to disclose acting as a foreign agent, which is much less charge, and lying on a government form. Who did she give up? Who did she betray? Who did she lie about? Who did she tell on? I'll bet there's a lot of people in the South African intelligence service right now going, "Oh crap, I just wet in my pants." I bet you a bunch of, I bet there's been a rush this week. Go find out wherever the state security agency's headquartered at, in Pretoria or Cape, wherever they're at. Go to their main offices and go to the ShopRites or the Pick and Pays next to them and ask them if there's been a sudden surge in adult nappies. I'll bet there's been a sudden surge in adult nappies because they're crap in their pants right now because their names are being given up by the spy. Unless, of course, they were compartmentalized. Now, a good spy agency will compartmentalize people, especially people they have on the ground. You don't want to risk your whole operation because one person knows too much. So you have a handler, and that's all you know. So if they were smart, then that's the case, and they're not compromised much. But what you can compromise is South African tradecraft. So how do you go about communicating? Oh, using Thrive handsets. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, using Telegram. Good to know. How often do you meet? How do you do it? Well, I'll tell you what. The FBI counterintelligence folks are probably very happy. I'll bet this clown made somebody's career in intelligence. Somebody in counterintelligence just became an all-time stud or studette because they got her to sing like a bird. I guarantee this chickadee is singing. She's singing loud. Oh no, my boss is still up a buzz. No, it's not. That's not her boss. But you get my point. She's probably singing like a canary right now. No doubt about it. Anyway, what are you going to say? What are you going to say about that? How are we doing? 209 people here right now. Thanks a lot, folks. Half hour into this. Anyway, so now it's cooled off a little bit. The shade is creeping up on the back of my calf, but I've already been burned. Oh yeah, I'm burned. 10 minutes in the sun. Vikings, we turn into lobsters. Anyway, more motorcycles. More motorcycles. And that's like 40 or 50 different motorcycles gone by here since I talked to you the last half hour. That's the radio on one of the motorcycles. I can hear it over here. It's 400 meters away. There's more of them coming. Yeah, anyway, summertime. People get crazy on the motorcycles. A lot of motorcycles. They're smart to ride in groups, though, because people don't notice motorcyclists, and they get hit all the time. Dangerous. But obviously, they're driving in a group. Oh, I'm starting to sweat here. Anyway, all right. Well, I just wanted to share a little bit with you guys and let you know that I'm okay. Thanks for your concern. I appreciate it. And I will do some prepare videos, but I can't stand out here in the sun, 90 degrees with 85, 95% humidity all the time until I get my internet back. But I'll do my best. There's nowhere I really can go, any place I can really go and get good connection. That's unfortunate. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks, everybody. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. Looks like somebody did super chats. Wow, a little bit of super chat revenue there. Just one. Looks like a small one. Thank you for that. I'm guessing that was about 70 Rand. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the 186 likes. Can we push that up to 200? 202 people here. And stay tuned. I'll keep you up to date with all the news I can. I'm off back to the house, hoping that my cable service works so I can watch Norway. And hopefully Holland will score 2 or 3 goals, get a hat trick, and defeat England. That's my hope. Not much left for me. Morocco's out of it. USA's out of it. Cape Verde is out of it. That leaves Norway. After that, the only thing I really root for is Messi. So we'll see what happens. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for being here.